America, and welcome to Invent America, because America invents.
This episode of Invent America TV is brought to you by America's Inventor Lady and Home Talk USA. Home Talk is a proud member of the King's Broadcasting Network and has been bringing to you the best of America's home-based product innovation since 1998. This segment of Invent America TV is brought to you by the law offices of R.P. Baraska. RPB law offices have been bringing corporate-level legal expertise to the independent inventor community for more than 20 years. For all your inventing legal needs, trust rpblawoffices.com.
Welcome, America. This is the Invent America show with the Cajun contractor, Michael King, and the inventor lady herself, Miss Rita Crompton. Rita's going to be joining us shortly. Unfortunately, in radio, things happen, and we're waiting for her. She's got some technical issues, but we're going to start the show. I am the Cajun contractor, Michael King, and this is Invent America, because America invents. We invite all of you to, we are streaming live on the World Wide Web at hometalkusa.com. You can check out our show. And don't forget, on the third hour, we're going to have the Made in America hour. Also, it's under the Home Talk banner. So stay tuned, hometalkusa.com, and make sure that you take care of all our sponsors. All our sponsors are listed on our website for all three shows: Home Talk USA, Invent America, and Made America, because it's all about education and information. Now, we're going to start the show with our first guest, and his name is Mike Wood, and he has a product called Gutter Guard Sweep. And I tell you, the inventor lady herself is really a fan of Mike's company. And I want to find out his story. He's got a great story to tell with this very unique gutter guard product when it has protection of your gutters. He's on the line right now, Mr. Mike Wood. How you doing, Mike? Wood?
I'm doing well.
Woody,
I'm
just
Michael.
Gonna call you Woody, huh?
You can call me Woody, absolutely. Thank you, Michael, for having me.
Have you been on the show before?
I have been on here once before. Yep.
Yeah, I remember. So, Mike, tell us the story. With how did you and Rita and she found you, and why? And I'm going to ask her too why she became so much a fan of your gutter guard sweep, and then we're going to explain what is the gutter guard when it comes to gutters, it exactly what it does and the features and benefits. Mike?
Sure, absolutely. Yeah, sure. So I actually met Rita about a year or so ago. I actually didn't physically met her, went her online, and then we talked on the phone for a little bit. Rita's amazing. We actually talked about my gutter diverter, the no overflow gutter diverter originally. Yeah. And then just recently I had an epiphany and started talking about the gutter guard sweep. Now, this particular product actually just comes from me talking to customers all day and hearing their rejections about how gutter guards work or don't work. And so we came up with a solution. We came up with a brush that actually sweeps all the debris off the top of a leak protection system that may get caught up there, like the granulars from the roof or debris and leaves and small stuff, that twigs that may get stuck up there. We want to keep everybody safe and on the ground. So we produce this sweep that'll actually get rid of the debris from the gutter, from the ground, keep everybody safe and off the ladder.
Well, on Home Talk USA, we've done many shows in the past. I've been on 29 years. Well, we're going to be on 29 years next year. And I've done 4 or 5 shows on gutter guards, from all the top companies. I've seen a lot of companies go in, go out of business. When gutter guards got very popular, it seems like so many companies just jumped into that business, and a lot of the technology are not here, because at the end of the day, I don't care. They can sit there and argue with me all they want. It's not perfect protection. None of it's perfect. And I proved that many times. But at the end of the day, gutter guards do work. I'm not going to say they don't work, but it just depends on the system itself. But there's not that many left. There's a national company running on right now. We've had them on, but there's a difference between a gutter guard and a gutter sweep, and explain again, exactly the difference, because you have your gutter can, and then on a gutter guard, you have some type of material that locks in at the top somehow. It has grates, holes, or whatever that prevents the leaves and all getting into.
Sure. So
yeah.
So our job is, so a gutter guy's job is to obviously, well, one of our jobs is to obviously sell a leak protection system that'll keep the debris out of the gutter, right? That debris was what slows the water down and could cause problems down the road. We talked about water all the time, how it becomes an issue for a home, a foundation, wood, rot, windows, decay of the walkway and stairs and stoops, right? All those things become damaged from water overflowing the gutter system. So when I designed this sweep, it's about just clearing the top of that guard off, because we've created another problem solving a problem, right? And so we want to solve that problem again and have a solution for the problem, right? And then it's all about safety, right? Keeping everybody on the ground, keep them off the ladder and off the roof. So if we could do that and we save a couple lives and we save people from getting hurt, the story is always from the wife and the husband, like, oh, who goes on the ladder to clean the gutters?
Yeah.
It's her mostly that's on the ladder and he's holding it, or vice versa, right? It happens a lot. And we hear all these horror stories, terrible accidents. So with that, I ran with the idea, and here we are. We're starting to work on prototyping and designing and make sure we get it just right.
Well, and I also mentioned, I found, I was trying to recall on some past shows how I got involved and find out about gutter protection. It was October is National Safety Month in October. And I think that's what it was. I was doing some national safety shows, and ladder injuries and gutter cleaning was one of the tops, believe it or not. How many, I was shocked that 200 fatalities a year happened.
Yeah, actually more than that, but yeah.
It's actually now. That was back then. I haven't did this in a while.
Oh, it's a lot more.
But about 200 fatalities a year, and then thousands of injuries of ladder people up there cleaning their gutters, and it presented a problem. Sure, but hey, I see we got the Inventor lady. She's finally there joining us. Hey, Inventor lady, I'm trying to. I can't do as good a job as you, but I got Mike Woody's here. Say hello to him, Rita.
Hey, Mike, thanks you guys for covering for me. It's like, the weather has been so bad, and all of a sudden I'm getting ready to log into the show and there's no electricity, no phone, no nothing. And it's like, okay, what now? And let's get to a signal. So
when Mike was explaining to us about the safety issues, which I tell you, it's one thing to, get in there and not have. Now, we already did shows on the problems of clogged gutters, overflow, softening fascia destruction. I mean, we've done many shows on this, but man, you just hit the nail. The safety factor is just amazing, and you guys are gonna save lives. It's just as simple as that. Somebody's gonna get to it.
We really hope to.
Yeah, absolutely. And we live out in the mountains, and so I've got one of the gutter guards, and it was so easy to put in. And, it makes a difference when that water is running down at the corner. And then, my husband said, well, I've got to clean out the gutters. It's like, no. Anytime you tell me, at 74 years old, you're going to climb up on the roof, we have a problem.
Yeah.
Definitely.
We only got a couple of minutes left, Rita. I know you want to talk to Mike about some other stuff, and I know you don't know what we talked about, but hey, we can repeat it, no problem, right, Mike?
That's right, absolutely. I think Rita was asking me about my new product, right? And if it's much easier or harder on me at the moment, and what my troubles are, right? When it becomes to inventing, right?
Well, let's do this. We're gonna keep you over for one more little segment, Mike, and then me and Rita's gonna talk a little bit, but don't go nowhere because we can roll you over. There's no problem, okay? So we're gonna take a short break. I know we're gonna be right here on the Invent America show with me and the Inventor lady herself, Rita Crompton. I'm the Cajun Contractor, Michael King. We'll be right back. Yay!
This segment of Invent America TV is brought to you by SearchQuest Patent Search. SearchQuest provides for a comprehensive patent search that searches the entire world and not just the U.S. Patent Office. Make sure that before you spend those big bucks having a patent written, you've done your due diligence by getting a comprehensive patent search. Use SearchQuestPatents.com for all your patent search needs. They scour the world for you.
And now Rita, we're talking to Mike Wood. Mike Woody, we're going to call him Woody. Mike Wood. He has this great gutter product called Gutter Guard Sweep. And but Mike, Rita, why don't you talk to him a little bit, because I know you have some questions you want to ask him and get involved a little bit more in detail.
Well, one of the things that, I notice is that some inventors will go on and have, another product. Is it easier, Mike, when you're doing it the second time around? You know how to file the patent. You've already generally got a good registered patent attorney to work with. So is it easier the second time around?
That's a great question, Rita. For me personally, I would say absolutely not. I'm stumbling over a couple things. It's a different product. It's a different nature, right? It needs a prototype. It needs, which I had, but I was able to do myself, right? My first product. And now this one is going to be much more involved and dealing with some mechanics that I'm not familiar with. So we want to do some testing and get it all done right. So yes and no. There are a lot of things that are obviously typical of inventing, but in this case, I haven't gone down that road yet, right? So
okay.
Some of it's kind of new to me, and I'm stumbling still as we speak.
Well, maybe one of the things that's easier is, like, you've already been down this path once, and you've seen all of the "are you kidding me" moments. So now when you've got, you're not always that surprised when you've got another "are you kidding me" moment, right?
Yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah, in that sense, I could expect a lot more, or a lot less. I could expect a lot more things to happen to me and not be so frazzled, right? So yeah, I kind of have it under control, but better. Yes, you're absolutely right.
The guys that I feel kind of sorry for are the ones that, it's like, well, I've filed 15 patents. Have you made any money? Well, no. I've never taken anything to market. It's like, I'm really not really sure then why you're filing the intellectual property.
Right.
Unless you just like having decorated paper hanging on your wall.
Yeah, I've heard that story many times, actually, where people were inventing things and just sitting in their back on the desk in the back of the office. I'm really lucky to have my wife, who pushed me along a little bit. I was definitely stumbling on that road a little bit. Like, do I do it? Do I not do it? Right? And then I decided that
Cajun Mike's Catering,
with her blessing, she said, "Go do it. Stop thinking about it. Just go do it." So I'm the one to drive. I'm the one that kind of tries to keep the ball rolling, whatever I do. So whether it's in my business, in the gutter business, or working around the house, right? I want to go and do it and get it done, and I want to be taking charge of it. So
it's funny when you talk about your spouse, because we had a show on one time. It was about husband and wife teams, and when did they start getting marriage therapy? And they all just laughed like crazy. It's like, been there, talked about it, seen the tug of wars going on. But it's just like, my husband and I work in the same business together, and when we have a tug of war, the business ends up in a better place.
Sure, absolutely, yeah, that's absolutely true. I believe that 100%. Yep.
Yeah. We could probably give marriage counseling when you have an inventor taking a product and the spouse says, "Nope, get it done. And the other one is like, "Would you get out in the garage and do something, because you're making me crazy in the kitchen?"
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a great idea.
So, you work in your industry, so you've been doing the gutter guard, kind of systems and repair work for a long time. So it helps when you are in the industry that you are inventing in.
Yeah. We do health products. Forget about it. It's not going to work. Right. I've been doing this for 30 years. So I got my hands in it. I know the troubles. I know the issues. I know all the little nicks and crannies, right? I know all the nicks and crannies. So yeah, it's easy for me because I can see it, and I'm one to create a solution for it. So, yeah.
Well, and it's easier too that when you're working in it, and you come up with a prototype, you can go out and test it on your own work job.
Yeah, we've done that. So I actually have a working prototype right now, and I think I showed you the video. So we're pretty psyched about it. We think it's going to work really well. We think I have some fine tuning to do. Right, we got to make it look pretty too.
Oh yeah, it's like when I saw it, I'm thinking, oh, my husband will never have to get on the roof again. It was like, that's awesome.
Again, just the safety factor is just amazing. That's the most important part. I know his product is going to protect the house from destruction and deterioration due to clogged gutters, but just the safety issue itself, trying to get up down that ladders, even to a professional contractor like myself, ladders are very dangerous.
Yeah, for sure.
Even the ones that hook onto the, that has that safety hook onto the gutters, that's still, you can still slip. Nothing's going to stop you from slipping,
Yep.
Oh yeah, that's for sure. And you can put on, all kinds of, super shoes to put on that, aren't slippery. It still doesn't stop you if you lose your balance or you get a little bit of vertigo, and all of a sudden that looks like a skyscraper.
That's right. It's a split second. That's all it takes. Yep.
A little bit of loss of balance in there, and it can be scary. So anyway, I'm excited about having you at ASD Market Week with us.
Yeah,
And
I can't wait.
that's going to be, wonderful to and they get so excited when they've got a good product, and especially since we are next to the tool area.
Yep.
Cool.
And those guys can come right over there and see exactly what you're doing.
All right, we're gonna have to go ahead and go, Mike. And Rita, how do we reach Mike? Through you? Website?
Absolutely.
All right.
I've got his name and his number for sure.
All right, Mike, thank you so much for being our guest. We got to take a short break. Not a guest, another topic right here on Invent America, because American Invents. We're going to be right back. Yeah, hey, I'll come back now. You hear?
If you're an inventor or you know an inventor out there who would just like to be able to have a conversation with other inventors, join the Inventors Roundtable. It's free. The meetings are virtual, so you can be anywhere in America and talk to another inventor. And for a lot of folks out there, understanding the process, being able to ask questions, getting good service provider information is critical to the inventing process. So, got questions? Want to join? It's free. inventorsroundtable.org.
Welcome back to the Invent America show, because American Invents right here on the King's Broadcasting Network. All right, Rita, we have Mr. Jean Scarberry with, I think you're also a fan of this product called the Snow Angel Shield, right, Rita?
I am. We just drove back from the Black Hills over Thanksgiving when they had that nasty blizzard out. And, I'm thinking about, my mother and, shoveling snow. She's 90 years old. And Gene is my snow angel. His product is called Snow Angel. And it is this easy way for people to remove snow from their driveway. And my mother wouldn't even have to go outside. And so, Gene, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you, Rita. I appreciate you all letting an old timer come in and discuss his latest invention. I was appreciating your previous conversation about being in the industry. That's where my first three inventions came from. I was in emergency medicine and saw the need for rural people to have an airway, and came up with a product called PTL Airway, pharyngeal tracheal lumen. My second product came out with suction. So I've been through a bunch of products. For a long period of time, I was involved with inventing through the company I worked for, which was Philips Respironics in the CPAP field. And the last product, Snow Angel, came about because I'm now 83, but back when I was 70, I was standing down on my 100-foot driveway with a lot of snow. I had chains on my feet, and I was using a snowblower. And I said to myself, if I fall down, I'm 6'6", it could be ugly. And so I said, there's got to be a better way to solve this. So I started out by just taking a common leaf blower. No, what I started out doing was trying to chase what else was available. And this was before the robots were out there. And my options were a heated driveway. And it turned out that would be $30,000, or putting electrodes into my existing asphalt driveway. That was a mere $10,000. But I couldn't do that because I didn't have enough power. So what I did was I said, okay, what else can we do? So I took a leaf blower, parked it above my driveway, turned it on. And when the snow came down, the next morning I came out and I had a 4-foot wide, absolutely clear area of snow. For the snow was not there. The asphalt was crystal clear. So I said, okay, blowing the snow when it comes down works. And then 9 years later, we worked out all the bugs. So Snow Angel was the existing product. And what's unique about it is it basically think about taking two snow blowers and having them act like windshield wipers, sweeping back and forth across the driveway. As the snow comes down, the Snow Angel is blowing the air across the driveway and deflecting the snow. So when we're done at the end of a snowstorm, the machine shuts off automatically and the driveway is pristine. You don't need some.
Jean, you learned on the job about how to file intellectual property and deal with intellectual property and then do prototypes and testing and everything. So did what you learn on the job help you then when you were doing basically your own private product?
Well, actually, my first three inventions, my emergency airway and two other inventions, I paid for out of my pocket. And so I got experience very soon. So when I went to work for this little tiny company, I already had patent experience. So when I was working at the corporation, as we grew, I was handling the patents. So I got experience there. So out of my own pocket and then for the company. And then, yes, that definitely helps. Understanding that the patent is important, but it's not primary. If you don't have got your invention working correctly, don't waste your time patenting it because you need to cover the key elements of it. The other issue for the four-person starting out is learning to understand patentese, the language that the patent attorneys speak. So when you're ready to file a patent, it helps to look at patents from previous products in your field so you understand the language that they're using.
Right. Oh, that's such good advice because I get so many inventors that will call and they're angry about the time they get for billable time when they're talking about expecting the attorney to educate them on something that, if they've done some reading, a little bit of research, and certainly, gone out and looked at some other patents in their industry, they would have learned a lot about how things get worded, how, the structure of a filing and everything, but they don't want to pay, and I understand they get frustrated when they're sent billable time for classroom education.
And, you have to find the right patent attorney. I've been blessed. The two guys I've worked with over the years, one in Houston, Texas, and now one here in Pittsburgh area, are the approach that they take is I'm going to let you do as much as you can before I start billing you anything. So I worked. I go over the basic concepts. I'm saying here are the 4 points of how my product really works. Is the language in the patent covering those, and then quote. Then I would come back to the attorney and say, okay, it looks like this is the right way to make this statement. And then we proceed from there to the billable hours. But you find a good one that you can interact with rather than
one of the things that I always do when I get an inventor just starting and say, all right, this is what you do first, all right, and then this is what you do next, which is going to be a comprehensive independent search so that you look at it first. And then the conversation with the attorney, you get to frame the conversation with the attorney as opposed to the attorney framing the conversation with you. And you can say, mine is better because, mine is different because, and because they can't read your mind. And so you've got to be able to explain things very succinctly so that they can start getting a picture in their head. Well, if you've got something that was filed before and you say, start with this and make these changes, now they can see it. And that just makes a huge difference. But for the beginning inventor, a lot of times that's a big learning curve and an expensive one.
Right. But it's one of those things where pay me now, pay me later. If I pay for the patent search, then I get a chance of saying, okay, if you think of a patent as throwing a large fishing net, the patent search says, well, the net can't be square because that corner up there is already covered by somebody else's invention. So you need to understand how you're getting narrow. The other thing is, ideally, the perfect patent is a one-sentence patent. And the longer the words get on your patent, the more narrow they become. If they still cover your product, that's fine. And because you're trying to throw as broad a net as you possibly can.
Yeah, I mean, you're exactly right. And, we want it to be, I always tell people, it's like, if you look at the geography, all right, that an examiner will let you have. All right, it's a negotiation. So you start out asking for more geography, knowing that they're going to cut down the geography. But if you ask for the bare minimum to start with, they're still going to cut you down because it's part of the negotiation process. And it's their job to cut it down. All right. And it's your job, your attorney's a job to fight for more yardage. And so, understanding the game, one of the attorneys that we use most often used to be an examiner. So he knows, what they're looking for. And he's been a wonderful asset to the inventors who come to me and need an attorney because he's been there, done that, and he knows who to call, what to call them. And sometimes it's not nice, but, he still knows. And it makes a difference for our inventors.
All right. We're going to have to take a short break. Thank you so much, my buddy. That was Jean Scarberry, and but we're gonna have to take a short break. And how do we reach Jean? Through you, Rita?
Absolutely.
All right.
We're working on getting Jean to the ASD Market Week as well.
All right.
But I'm going to be doing some videos so that people can actually see his machine working. It is a very cool machine. It just sits there, and if it starts to snow, it turns on. It's so cool.
All right, we're going to take a short break. We're going to have another guest, another topic, Mr. Kevin Cody, founder and CEO of FLI Products, right here. FLI Products. Yeah, I thought I got it right, man. Well, when you're old, you get senile here. All right, we take a short break. We'll be right back. Welcome to the Invent America show right here on the King's Broadcasting Network. Having a great time. Me and my co-host, the invented lady herself, Miss Rita Crompton. But this segment of the show is sponsored by Product Quick Start. Noah Neely and Product Quick Start has been specializing in meeting prototyping and manufacturing needs for inventors. There's only one company to think of, and that's Pro Quick Start. And again, we always invite everybody to go to our website at hometalkusa.com. You can check out our sponsor links. All shows are listed there. The Invent America, Made in America. Please help our program out because let's face it, without our sponsors, there would be no Cajun Contractor. There would be no Invented Lady. There would be no show. So we need our sponsors. So check them out, patronize them. And also want to mention that we did sign, and our Rita is jumping up for happiness over there. We did sign for the 29th year, so we're going to be back. Right, Rita? We're going to be back on the air next year,
You betcha.
29th
Absolutely.
year. Yeah. So
congratulations.
Well, there you go. But Rita, let's talk to Kevin Cody. You're familiar with Kevin's company, and I'll hand the show over to you. I'll pass the ball to you.
Well, thank you. Yes, I've known Kevin now for a few years. Actually, he just lives down the road a piece from me. And so, Kevin, thanks for being with us today. And you have been working with inventors and new products for how long now?
Oh, probably close to 20 years. Yeah.
Yeah.
Doing some of my own and working with others who are doing it.
So as you've gone through this, it's tough to get from mind to market, and there's a lot of steps involved. So as you have worked with different inventors, when they come up with their second or third product, is it easy for them? What do you see as the difference?
You cut out there, but I think you asked after an inventor has initiated the process and come up with second and third items, is it any different than the first? And the reality is absolutely. Every product is going to be a little bit different. While you want to establish a protocol, if you will, or a process for doing it, that's a logical step in beginning to develop a product, but at the same time, you just never know what the market conditions are actually going to bring. And so as time moves on, AI becomes a bigger part of process here. I think that you have to adapt and be ready to move quickly.
So, that brings up a really good point is that, in the 20 years that we've been doing this, we've seen a lot of changes, basically from, limited to, TV, radio, and, printed advertising. Now you've got social media and AI. So what are you seeing are the newest impacts over the last year or so?
I would say without a doubt, the ability to speed up the research time and to be able to get all of the information that you need to be able to bring a product to market, from the 4Ps all the way through the development process. And if you're going to import the product, where, how, the best place to have it made, everything else just is going so much faster. And at the same time, products are making exits faster. And so as you sort of have to adapt to the market, pricing, costs, everything else, you also have to plan in your next best move in terms of being able to keep the profit margins you need and making the next best product for the next customer. So the next phase of who your customers are. So knowing that information, being able to use AI to your advantage in recording it all, as well as filing it all, documenting it all, doing everything that you need from top to bottom. AI is without a doubt a huge advantage now if you can learn how to use it properly.
I agree. I think one of the biggest changes and the first one that really impacted the process was going to 3D printers.
Mm-hmm.
So, you didn't have to have a mold made for your first prototype. Yep. You were able to use a 3D printer. Mm-hmm. And so it cut the cost down from thousands of dollars now to maybe hundreds of dollars to get that first proof of concept prototype. So that was a big improvement in the inventing process. And then, we went from, the social media marketing. So now you could do a lot more on your own. You didn't have to pay professionals to come in and do a video. You could do a video with your phone. So I think things have gotten easier. The learning curve has gotten easier. It's gotten shorter, and I think less expensive.
Yeah. In the end, though, I think you really have to remember that with all of these tools that are available to speed things up, you still have to realize that the market is the real judge. And when you bring the product to market, you've got to know who your customers are going to be, how you're going to do it, and which direction you plan to go when it comes to actually finding out who's going to purchase your product. And you got to be realistic about it. One of the things that I always have been taught for many years as a retailer, as well as in product development, is you got to know where your market gap is and who your customer is going to be and what they're going to pay for the product. And then you got to work backwards.
Well, yeah. And I always tell people, inventors, you've got to kind of squeeze it. You've got to understand what will the market pay for your product, and then what is it going to cost you to make it? Because there's a lot of times intellectual property will be filed, but technology didn't allow you to make it at the price the consumer will pay. Well, then when technology catches up to it, you can't get a patent on it because the patent was already filed 6 ways to Sunday. And so understanding that, I had a lady a couple of weeks ago, and she was just so upset that I said, when you go into Google Patents and you put in your basic line that you gave me, there's 100,000 hits, and that's only a fraction of what's out there. And she goes, well, why didn't they tell me all this was out there? And it's like, at a certain point, and so that's really what we look at is and the other point that you made about shaking hands with the guys that would be doing the reselling of your product still makes all the difference in the world. And that's why we go to ASD, and so many of the inventors go with just their proof of concept prototypes, because they want the guys who would be selling their product to give them some feedback on, do they even want to try to sell this product?
Absolutely. Inventors always want to fall in love with everything about their product, and they forget about the benefits. And that's really what speaks to who the customer is that's going to be buying it.
I want to thank my boy. Thank you, Mr. Kevin Cody. And
thanks everyone for joining us today. We will be back next week with more stories on getting products from mind to market. We will have new inventors and industry experts. So join us and have a wonderful week.